Hi, welcome once again to M5's English language learning programme, Let's Speak English. I'm Gav Duncan and I'm here on your TV screen to help you learn English. Now, are you sitting comfortably? Yes? Good. And are you ready for today's lesson? Yes? Good. Okay, well let's learn English together. And hello again, people. Hello and welcome. Welcome once more to the studio, the place where I stand and sweat under very bright lights, covered in foundation like some sort of weirdo. So, here we are all again. We meet again, Mr. Potato Head. Good. Well, what day is it today? Yes, that's right, it's Tuesday. And that means that we've moved one day closer to Friday. But, as we all know, it's still a long, long way away. At this point in time, we've just moved past one of Colossus's feet. I'm not sure which one. I can never remember which way he stands. Does he stand facing the sun or facing away from the sun? I mean, I suppose that all depends on whether he remembers to bring his sunglasses, doesn't it? I mean, if he left his sunglasses at home when he came to work on Monday morning, then he'd have to face away from the sun, wouldn't he? I mean, it'd be terrible for him standing squinting into the sun all day. Well, until the sun went down. So I suppose that if Colossus remembered to bring his sunglasses, then he must be standing facing the sun. But if, on the other hand, he forgot to bring his sunglasses, maybe he couldn't find them, then he'd have to stand with his back to the sun. All right, I'm glad that we got that sorted out. So, enough about Colossus. Let's get on with the mega revision. Viv, hit the button, would you, please? Thank you. Here it comes, people. Now, the first thing I want to have a look at is the word fishy. Now, I know that we talked about this last time, but I'd like to make sure that it's all clear. Okay, so we all remember that we can use the adjective fishy as a normal, common adjective to describe something which is connected to a fish. A fishy smell or a fishy taste, for example. I remember once, many years ago, I went to a restaurant in Budapest with Avi. Okay, there's nothing particularly special about that, is there? No, not really. But I ate something there which I can't forget. Now, as I've told you before, in my opinion, fried cheese is one of the best foods in the world. They don't have fried cheese in Britain. Nobody ever thought of it. Nobody ever worked out that it was a fantastic idea. I don't know. Maybe now people in the UK know about fried cheese. Maybe all over the UK there are people sitting down to eat fried cheese now. I don't know. But when I lived in the UK, there was no fried cheese. When I first came to Hungary, I first saw the words fried cheese on a menu in a restaurant somewhere. And I couldn't understand the words, the combination of words. Fried cheese? Fried cheese? The words didn't tell me anything. I couldn't understand how it was possible. How can somebody fry cheese? All of the fried food that I ate was, well, different. Chips, you know, fried pieces of potato. Fine, I can understand chips. I grew up in the UK. We used to have fish and chips all the time. The fish was fried and the chips were fried. And you went to the fish and chip shop, you went to the chippy, and you asked for fish and chips. Maybe you asked for haddock. Maybe you asked for cod. There were other fishes too on the menu, but the two main fishes that people wanted were haddock and cod. And when you got your fish and chips, the chippy, the man or woman who cooked the fish and chips, they put your food into paper, wrapped it up, and then wrapped it in yesterday's newspaper to keep it warm. Then you either took it home and ate at home, or you ate your fish and chips with your fingers, outside, sitting down, or walking somewhere. Now, there were other items of food available in the chippy too. You could buy a saveloy, for example. A saveloy is a type of sausage made of pork. So, it's made from the meat that we get from pigs. Pigs are the animals, and the meat we get from them is pork. If it's alive, it's a pig. If it's a dead pig, then it's pork. Anyway, there were saveloys, big red pork sausages, like this, saveloy and chips. And you could also ask for a battered sausage. This was another pork sausage, but this sausage was dipped in batter and then fried. The saveloy wasn't fried, it was just hot. It was ready to eat. But the chippy put the saveloy into the area above the deep fat fryer where the food could be kept hot. So, if you asked for a saveloy, then it was always served hot. But the battered sausage, that was a different kettle of fish. A battered sausage was a pork sausage dipped in batter and then fried. Okay, and now you're all asking, what's batter? Well, batter is a mix of flour, eggs, and milk or water. When you want to make pancakes, what do? That's right, you make a batter, a pancake batter. You make a very thick liquid with eggs, flour, and milk. And this thick liquid, this is the batter. This is the liquid that you put into the frying pan. This is the liquid which turns into pancakes. So, if you want to fry a fish, for example, you've got two options, two possibilities, two ways to do it. The first way is to beat some eggs in a bowl like this. After that, you can dip the fish into the eggs and then coat the fish in breadcrumbs like this. Then, when the fish is coated in breadcrumbs, you can put it into the hot oil and fry it like this. Okay, so that's the first way that we can fry fish. The second way is to use batter, that thick, viscous liquid made of eggs and flour and milk or water. We can take a fish, dip it into batter like this, and then we can put the fish into the hot oil and fry it. So, those are the two ways I know of frying fish. Maybe there are other ways. I don't know. I'm Gav Duncan, not Gordon Ramsay or Jamie Oliver. They probably know other ways, so ask them. All right, back to the sausage. Battered sausage. A pork sausage dipped in batter, dipped in a flour and egg and milk mix, dipped in this thick, this viscous liquid, and then deep fried. Fried in lots of oil. This isn't shallow fried, no. This isn't like when we fry an egg. When we're cooking fish and chips, and when we're cooking battered sausage, then we're using a lot of oil. We're deep frying these things. You do remember those two opposite adjectives, don't you? Deep and shallow? The easiest way to think about them is to think about a swimming pool. In a swimming pool, you have a shallow end and a deep end. The shallow end is where it's possible to stand in the water with most of your body out of the water. The deep end is where there is more water. If you stand in the deep end, then your head will also be underwater. Shallow and deep are related to how much distance we go beneath the surface of something. With a swimming pool, the shallow end tells us that there isn't a lot of distance under the surface at this end. The deep end tells us that there is a lot of distance under the surface at this end. If you can't swim, don't go into deep water because you can't stand there. In the shallow end, you can put your feet down and stand up. No problem. In the deep end, you have to swim or you'll drown. Okay, So that's shallow and deep. A shallow cut isn't a big problem, but with a deep cut, you might have to go to hospital and get stitches. All right, shallow frying, we're cooking eggs. Fish and chips and battered sausage, that's deep frying, possibly using a deep fryer like this. Okay, and now for the sausage. Prepare yourself. It's not a very attractive sight. Blimey, somebody's hungry. 2 battered sausages. Crikey O'Reilly. Now, I've been talking about food for ages now, and I'm starting to feel a little bit peckish, a little bit hungry. Okay, now, back to the start of the story. We were in this restaurant in Budapest, and I ordered the best food in the world. Fried cheese. Tropische cheese, dipped in egg, covered in breadcrumbs, and then deep fried. Fantastic. Seriously, that's got to be the best food in the world. Fried cheese. Okay, but on this day, in this restaurant, there was a problem. Things went wrong. I ordered the fried cheese. So far, so good. But then, the waiter brought my food to the table and I picked up my knife and fork, cut into the fried cheese, watched the melted cheese flow out onto the plate, cut off a small piece, pierced the piece of fried cheese with my fork, raised it to my mouth, put it into my mouth and started to chew. Now this is where things went wrong. Things went pear-shaped. There was something fishy going on. Yes, my fried cheese was fishy. It didn't taste of cheese at all. I couldn't taste cheese. All I could taste was fish. I looked at the food to make sure that the waiter had brought me the correct dish, to make sure that the waiter had got the order right. I ordered fried cheese, not fried fish. I don't really like fish. The last time I ate fish was when I was a kid in the UK. But when I looked at my plate, the food on the plate looked like fried cheese, but the taste was fishy. It tasted like fried fish. So I caught the waiter's attention. I called the waiter over to my table and I told him that my fried cheese didn't taste like fried cheese. It tasted like fried fish. And do you know what he said? You'll never guess. He said that someone before me, another customer, had ordered fried fish. So that was probably why my fried cheese tasted like fish. No apology, no offer to replace my fishy cheese, nothing. He told me why the cheese tasted fishy, turned away and left. I was stunned. I didn't know what to say. I sat there, not eating my fishy cheese, and then, well, of course, when I didn't eat my meal, my fishy cheese, we decided to leave. The waiter brought the bill, we refused to pay for the fishy cheese, and we left in a bad mood. So that was my experience with some very fishy cheese. And we're done. Yes, that's it for the day. Our lesson, our revision session, this revision session, the session from the mega revision for Tuesday has come to an end. And it's time for us to go our separate ways. You go that way and I'll go this way, okay? I'm off home to have a coffee and then, well, who knows or dares to dream, eh? And you lot? Well, I'm sure that some of you are free to do whatever you fancy doing, but there may still be some of you out there who still have a few chores to do. So, have at them. Give those chores hell. Show those chores who's boss. And then, when you've finished giving the chores hell, have a coffee, sit down, put your feet up, and think about what you're going to have for dinner. All right, people, have fun, whatever you're planning, and I'll see you all back here tomorrow. See you later. Bye.